Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we'll be looking at 5 things UGA must improve upon in order to beat Alabama in the national championship game. I'm going to go ahead and draw the line in the sand and not hold back. I think we're going to walk through Michigan, so I'm already looking forward to the national championship game rematch. I don't think Michigan poses too much of a threat. Their strength is running the ball. They won't be able to run it too well on us. Dogs 35, Michigan 21. They can play hard, but they'll tire in the second half. So without further ado, let's get into it. For 5 things UGA must improve in order to beat Alabama finally. Number 1 is start JT Daniels. So I have a few stats ready, and that's Stetson Bennett versus Alabama. Last year was 18 for 40 with 2 touchdowns and 3 picks. Versus Florida last year, granted he did get hurt halfway through, he was 5 for 16 with a touchdown and a pick. And then in the SEC championship game, he was 29 for 48, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks. These are the 3 biggest games he's played in, and he hasn't delivered in any of those 3. He's already gotten 2 cracks at Alabama, and if you can't beat them in your 2 tries, I don't know why we're giving him a 3rd try. Kirby Smart simply cannot waste this opportunity in this defense to beat Alabama, because Bama's going to be better next year, and they're going to be better the year after that, simply due to Bryce Young improving, and they're not going to lose either Mechie or Jamison Williams to the draft. So Bama will improve, and it's now or never for UGA. And if we look back and waste like the number 1 defense in the country with 2 elite running backs, Pickens, and the best tight end in the country, all because we were too reluctant to play a 5-star quarterback over a walk-on, I mean that would be the choke of the century. So JT Daniels simply has to start. And in a number of these highlights, we can see Stetson Bennett made 3 or 4 really poor throws on 3rd down. When UGA was up 10-0, we had back-to-back 3-and-outs where he refused to throw the ball to James Cook in the flat on one of them, held the ball too long and took a sack, and then on the second one he just completely missed a very easy throw to Cook for third down. Later on, he tried to force too many throws. I mean, the pick 6 was coming. Also, the interception was bad. I felt like we relied heavily on Brock Bowers, which is good, but I mean that was coming. We threw too many jump balls to him, and then the pick 6 was coming as well. Just sort of, he threw off his back foot way too often. And we got punished for it. Honestly, Stetson Bennett didn't play a great game. He made some throws to some pretty open receivers, but he had some huge 3rd down missed throws. When we were up 10-0 and the Tide scored like that huge strike to Jamison Williams, you could just feel the momentum shift, and have back-to-back drives end in a 3-and-out due to your quarterback missing 3rd and shorts. I mean, that's just unacceptable. And part of that's on Kirby. Kirby should have put JT in halfway through the 3rd quarter. Also, the first pick was so bad, we could have gone down 1 score. Instead, we go down 2 scores, and then 3 scores. Or instead, it remained at 2 scores, and then it eventually became a 3-score game. So, just some really poor plays. So, the second thing UGA must improve upon in order to win is actually use Pickens. So, I get that he's still recovering from an ACL injury. And hopefully, by the time the national championship rolls around, he'll have that additional 5 weeks from the SEC championship game to heal up and improve. But we saw how lethal he is on that one deep pass. We saw the presence that he commands, like the coverage he commands from the defense. So even if he's not all there, I'm not asking him to make cuts on every play. I mean, the player safety is the most important thing. But even if he's not like 100% healthy, he's obviously good enough to play because we've played him and will only get healthier. At least use him as a decoy. Please, Kirby. He played way too few snaps. He should absolutely be used as a decoy. And just even if it's just to create space over the middle and he doesn't get the ball in his hands, that's fine. But Bama will not leave Pickens with a cornerback one-on-one. Bama will always double cover Pickens if he's running deep. On top of that, he's very good at blocking. So Pickens simply has to be utilized more. Either rest him or use him. And then 3 was, I would say, don't give up on the run so early. And I had a huge problem with this versus Bama last year, versus Florida last year, and versus not as much with Bama this year, but still to an extent. Last year, we were beating Bama at the half, and we completely gave up on the run. Last year, the Florida game was manageable. I mean, it got ugly, I believe, late second quarter, early third quarter. But if you recall, the Florida game last year, we had a long touchdown run to Zamir White, first play of the game, and we gave up on the run up. Same with the SEC championship game. 9 second half rushes. Reminder, we were down 1 score at the half. By no means was it over at halftime. So, and I felt like we ran the ball pretty well. No huge runs, but they will come. Zamir White and James Cook can wear a defense down, and I think Kirby shouldn't just rely on his QB so much, right? I like aggressive play calls, but let's slow the game down. When Bama's scoring quickly and just running right through us like they had those 4 or 5 consecutive drives, let's slow the game down and let's run a bit, right? Let's get a few first downs and have the momentum fizzle out a bit for Bama, right? So don't give up on the run so early. I didn't hate the play calling, but I've seen it happen in the past. In previous big games where Kirby just completely quit on the run, and we can't have that happen in the national championship. And number 4 is it's easy to assume as a Georgia fan that, oh, here's the things we need to correct, but Bama's going to make corrections too and improve the national championship game. And one of those corrections I think that will happen is they're not going to let Brock Bowers get 10 catches for 140 on them. I mean, Brock Bowers is the best tight end in the country, bar none, and he's an absolute monster. I expect Brock Bowers to get his 6-7 catches, 60-70 yards at least. But I don't know what it is, but there's no way Saban will let Brock Bowers tear right through their defense like he did in the SEC championship game. There's just no way. And so what I would love to see is I would love to see DeAndre Washington used more. I know he's just a monster in the run game, but I would love to see him used more in the pass game too. Put him out wide with Brock Bowers and Pickens. And then also I'd like to see more of Ladd McConkey and Adonai Mitchell were very quiet in the SEC championship game, and I can't blame them. They're true freshmen, but they both had very solid years, and so I'm assuming that Bama is going to minimize Brock Bowers' impact from the SEC championship game to the national championship game. Again, I think he'll still get 6 catches, 7 catches, 70 yards, but I want to see us use Ladd McConkey and Adonai Mitchell more, and I want to see us use them early, right? So I want to see us get our freshmen touches early in the first quarter, get their confidence up, right? Because if we're going to win this game, we're going to need plays from someone that's not Brock Bowers and someone that's not George Pickens, which means McConkey or Mitchell need to step up, which means we have to give them a chance early in the game. So number 4 was definitely utilize our freshman receivers more early and get their confidence up. Number 5 is more aggressive play calling. We need to go for at least 2 fourth downs, fourth and shorts. I had a problem with this in the national championship game a few years back with Kirby, and we didn't have the opportunity to go for that many fourth downs in this game. But we'll most certainly get into some fourth and shorts in the national championship game. We need to be aggressive, and we need to take some risks and dial up the blitz, because I think Georgia's issue is, granted, we had 8 QB hurries, but on defense, it's like we weren't putting a ton of pressure on Bryce Young. We had 0 sacks, and simultaneously our coverage was super soft. So it's like, if we're gonna have soft coverage, let's at least get to the quarterback. So dial up a few more blitzes and go for at least 2 fourth downs. So that sort of coincides with the more aggressive play calling from Kirby. And I'm not saying deep throws every play. Like I said, be calm but aggressive. So we could run the ball on some fourth and shorts. Run the maybe if we have a 3rd and 6, run the ball knowing we're going to go for it on 4th down. Plays like that. So calm but aggressive. And the reason I'm not harping on the defense too much is this: our defense has been so good for so long, and I know we'll get better. I know for a fact we'll get better. And on top of that, so there's no point in ragging on them, because Bama will be without John Mechie in the national championship game, and we saw Bama's offense. He got hurt. Mechie got hurt right before half. Bama's offense, while they were still effective in the second half, it wasn't nearly what it was in the first half. On top of that, versus Auburn, when Jameson Williams went out in the first half for targeting, Bama did not have the same offense versus Auburn, and they didn't have the same offense versus Georgia in the second half when they only had one of their star receivers. So it will be easier for Georgia having to only deal with Jameson Williams. Granted, he is a top 5 receiver in the country, but it will be much easier not having to worry about Mechie. So I'm not terribly worried about the defense. I just want to focus on those few things offensively, because I know our defense will make corrections. I know we'll eventually get to Bryce Young. We're due a turnover. There's no way Bama plays a flawless game and UGA gets 0 turnover. So I'm not saying we're going to shut Bama out. I just think we've seen the worst of it. So that's why I wanted to focus on those 5 things on offense that we need to improve upon. Again, start JT. Actually use Pickens even if it's a decoy. Don't give up on the run so early. 4 is get Ladd and Adonai involved early. Get their confidence up. And 5 is more aggressive play calling. Let me know what y'all think. Let's hope we can finally get the monkey off our back. Go Dogs. Not worried about Michigan. Please like and subscribe. Thanks.